This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Welcome, listeners. I'm your host, Dani, and I'm the first-time reader who's going through this 15-book series chapter by chapter. As always, there are no spoilers past the chapter we are covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host, Brett, who's a longtime fan of the series, and he's acting as my tour guide on this journey. Before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Jonathan R. to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. We're really excited to have your support, and we really want to thank you for your generosity. We'd also like to acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Aaron Kirkwood. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 51 and 52 of The Dragon Reborn.
Yeah, okay, so we got chapter 51, Bait for the Net, and chapter 52, In Search of a Remedy.
Ooh, yeah.
So stuff happens. Events transpire.
Got some predictions correct.
Yeah, some horribly wrong, I think, again, but
yeah, some bad.
Some right,
some right.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about.
Some exactly spot on.
Yeah, like shockingly well.
Thank you.
Okay, so but we got stuff to talk about before we talk about the stuff. We
definitely do, because although this episode will come out probably about mid-November by my schedule, right now it is October 17th.
Yes.
Which is Robert Jordan's birthday.
Yes. So he would be 72 today. So yeah, so we're going to do a customary shot in honor of Robert Jordan.
And why not? Because he's the reason we really are all here. He's the reason this community exists. He's the reason why we're sitting here doing this thing. So we might as well, we got to honor him on his name day.
Yes, absolutely.
So, all right. And then, so we have these special shot glasses because somebody very special, one of our internet friends, Kaylee, sent us these shot glasses from, I gotta know this.
You should know it.
Okay, I know that her mom works at a winery, and that's where this lovely wine glass is from.
Yeah,
but I'm not 100% sure about this distillery. If she works there, or if her mom works there.
It was something, and I can't remember, so sorry, Kaylee.
But she sent them to us, and they're so cool. They're so nice.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there were 2 wine glasses. One didn't make it in the mail.
One didn't make the shipment.
So we have 1 wine glass and 2 shot glasses, and the shot glasses are for Firefly Distillery, South Carolina.
Very cool.
So yeah.
And I have my non-alcoholic wine, if anybody is wondering what I'm shooting tonight for Robert Jordan.
Yeah. And I have a bunch of rum, and these are gigantic, like they're huge, so I only filled it up about 2/3 of the way.
I was going to say, that's probably more than 2 ounces.
Oh yeah, so.
In that shot glass, but.
So yeah, so cheers.
Cheers. Tyshar Rigney.
Ah.
It's just terrible grape juice.
It's not the same.
Ugh.
Soon.
Yes. Very soon. Okay, we also have a couple other things to mention because Kaylee, the wonderful Kaylee, in our package, she sent us these shot glasses. She also handmade me a badger.
Yes, so we got to do a full 360 of this.
So cute. It's awesome, and it has a little tag on him named Danny's Badger, which I love so much. Super cute.
Maybe we'll post some pictures of Discord too.
Yeah, we got to get a shelf.
Yeah. We got to finish the setup on our...
I know, we got to display. So right now, he'll sit here. He'll be our mascot. I like him a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
He's pretty mischievous. And then also why Kaylee sent us this package is because she hand-sewed...
Yes.
Handmade. Masks for us with custom-printed the Wheel Weaves fabric.
Yes, they're very cool.
Which is really super cool. And we have decided we are sending these to our long-time contributing patrons.
Yeah.
As a
thank you.
For sticking with us, for
keeping through the pandemic.
For the long haul. Yeah. So these are our really long haul patrons who are going to be receiving this special present from us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's awesome. And on that note, we have some stuff to talk about, and I bet you have a fact to start us off with.
Good segue. Okay, so fun fact for today. We've been introduced to a couple of the Forsaken, and specifically the last couple chapters. And these chapters, it's all about our man, Bilal. So where the name came from, I like to kind of piece together where the names come from for all of these characters, because it's probably not just random. So Bilal likely comes from the name Belial, Belial, which is a term occurring in the Hebrew Bible, which later became personified as the devil in Jewish and Christian texts.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then also Belial is a Hebrew word used to characterize someone who is extremely wicked or worthless, but some scholars also translate it, and this is really interesting, to never to rise or may he have no rising.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be important later on. Yeah, and we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Belial.
Belial.
I'm going to remember that for the next fun fact trivia.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of other stuff for Belial too. Like,
yeah.
It's all over the place,
I'm
but
still
those are like
remembering
the good ones.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so last time we got to break down where everybody is again.
Right.
What everybody's doing. So Rand is for sure in Tyr.
Oh, yeah.
Matt caught a glimpse of him, and everyone is dreaming of him.
Yes.
But we don't know what he's doing, just wandering around Tyr.
He does seem like he's kind of, well, we'll get to that
He's
in
just
this
wandering
chapter
around.
too. He's wandering around
So
Tyr.
Matt and Tom are on the search for Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine. They're going to every inn in Tyr. Matt ended up killing that Komar guy from Camelin, but there are others after the girls.
Yep.
So they're continuing their search. Perrin is having a very tough time. He wants to be a blacksmith and doesn't like this adventure he's been dragged into. And Moraine found out that Lord Salmon is actually a Forsaken named Bilal.
Yes.
Okay, so there's
Also,
a lot there.
Perrin has a lot to think about a hammer,
Yeah.
and maybe a little bit about Fael.
I think more about Fael than he wants to admit.
But also a lot about the hammer.
Okay, so Egwene, Nynaeve, and Elaine are staying with some wise woman and hired a thief catcher to track down Leandrin and that Black Azure crew.
Yes, Julian.
Julian.
Not Julian. Julian.
Julian.
Yes.
Whatever. So, could we just call him Sandar?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, chapter 51 is Bait for the Net, and we get the Dark Friend picture.
We do. So the two faces, black and white.
Yep. And this is in Nynaeve's point of view. And I have to say, I haven't been a big fan of being in Nynaeve's head.
Yeah, and we get some of the same because of that.
But I have to tell you, I didn't dislike this.
Okay, I have a question. So as soon as you saw that whole like Dark Friend symbol, because that's kind of what you've painted it as yourself, like you've imposed that. Did you immediately like get like really worried vibes about this going terribly wrong, as bad as it goes? Like
I wish I could say that the first time I read this, I paid attention.
Oh, you didn't pay attention because it's like a 50-50 toss-up if you even notice the symbol.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things where I'm just too excited to read, and I glimpse, and I don't even...
Because this chapter could have gone a completely different way.
Yes.
Like, with, Sandar, not Julian. Oh my goodness, this is going to be tough. But, like, it could have gone a different way where he, like, finds them, reports back, and then they go, like, to spy on them or something. Like, there's so many different ways with the Dark Friend symbol that could have gone besides, like, what happens.
I have to say, I wasn't surprised about what happened, if that's what your question is.
That's
definitely something I was like, yeah, that's definitely...
It kind of makes sense, because they totally knew, so... Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so right away we get Nynaeve catching a glimpse of a tall man with red hair, and she thinks to herself, it couldn't be Rand.
Yeah.
He's all the way at Almouth Plain.
And what does he have on his back, in case you weren't sure?
I don't know.
A flute case.
Oh, a flute case. Oh, right.
Like, in case you weren't sure.
I was like, a brown cloak?
Yeah, no, the tall guy with red hair
has a flute
has a flute, so it's like totally, it's Rand.
Oh, yeah, and I just think... What is he doing just wandering around Tyr for people to, like, catch glimpses of him?
What do you think he's doing?
Because these are, like, days apart, I think, right?
It
like,
seems that
now
way.
it's not raining.
Yeah.
Matt saw him, like, the first night, and it rained for 3 days.
In the rain, doing stuff at nighttime.
He's just, like, literally just wandering.
What's he doing?
Wandering around. Looking for Kalendor. He's like, I gotta get that
He's looking
sword.
for it in the streets of Tyr? Like, we all know it's in the heart of the stone,
I know,
right?
I have no idea what he's doing or why he's just literally wandering around.
I just thought you might have some, like, speculation there. But...
I don't. Okay. That's what my question is.
It's like, very confusing.
Like, what are you doing? Go get into the stone somehow. Like, I don't know.
Just that easy. Okay.
I have no idea. I don't know. I was actually a little bit worried. It was nice to see this glimpse because obviously it was more than 3 days ago that the innkeeper had given the description of Rand.
That's true.
As a man who killed Komar.
Yes.
And so I was on edge a little bit for what was going to happen if the defenders found Rand.
Yeah, and it's like, that's the guy
That's
that he
the
described.
guy that he described who clearly killed the guy. But he's still wandering around.
Yeah, so that hasn't happened yet.
Right. Okay, so anyway, she's at the butcher arguing over some price of a poor cut of meat, and she leaves and thinks to herself about how she should have more patience, especially with Egwene, but she's being such a little bitch.
That's true. So, just like a little note, did you notice the whole like weird fish thing? So in the very first page, the dude trips and falls, and then all the fish like fall in a circle face down in the mud. So that's just like another hint.
I think there's just some like Taviran stuff happening with Rand influencing crap.
That's what it seems like. Okay. Weird Rand stuff.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. So we also get a note that Nynaeve is 7 years older than Egwene.
We do get that.
But we don't know how old Egwene is yet.
We can speculate.
Yeah, we've been speculating this whole time. This time we get a concrete number, but we still have to speculate. So she'd be like mid-late 20s, probably. I'd say mid-20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had put her older. So that's interesting.
Okay. Because we assume Egwene's like...
just like the way that she conducts herself and the way that she acts.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, there's reasons for that, too.
Yeah.
Being thrust into the position of wisdom early, so...
Yeah, okay. But we also get a note that she has been able to convince Egwene not to use the ter'angreal again and not to wear it against her skin.
Yeah, so do you have any... Like, this
vibes?
all kind of like, feels the same...
As what I was thinking.
Same as what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so specifically, like, not letting it touch your skin anymore.
Yeah.
So...
And not using it anymore. Yeah. And that's Nynaeve connecting the bitchiness with the ter'angreal.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done.
Okay.
So.
But we don't really get much else because we don't know, like, where Egwene is, attitude-wise after that whole change. So we'll have to, like, watch for it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Nynaeve runs into Sandar, who is super nervous, and says that he has been looking for her and they need to get back to Mother Gwenna's right away, and he has found the women, but they are guests of High Lord Salmon, and he seems really flustered.
Yeah, so this is kind of like an interesting take too on this entire, like, we know what happens at the end when it's clear that he's reporting for the Black Aja to lead Nynaeve back. But like the first time you read through this paragraph, did you pick up anything weird on his whole like acting nervous, or was it just like making sense?
I wasn't picking up on him acting nervous.
Yeah.
I just thought right away that
like, of course,
this isn't good.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't positive. I picked up on him being like, oh my god, it's Black Aja. And he, I picked up on he was nervous about finding things out.
Yeah.
And that's really all I got.
It kind of makes sense that he would be nervous if it was like just the whole like with the High Lords thing, because obviously there's the class system, but it's so much worse looking at what he says, because he says, yes, you must come back with me, the others are waiting, the others and Mother Gwenna, and so like, oh my, it's so evil.
Like, it's pretty bad.
It's not good.
No, I actually feel kind of for him though, because at first I thought that
he straight up betrayed them, or okay,
but we can get to that when we get there. Because they get back to the house and Nynaeve sees Mother Gwenna in the armchair, clearly bound by invisibility. Like, she's bound invisibly.
Yes,
is what
by
I meant to say.
Air. Yeah.
And Nynaeve can sense the weaving of air around her. So she knows that they have been found and it's Sandar's fault. This is bad news.
Yeah, and it's nice. Yeah.
See, I thought that Sandar was originally bad guy.
Okay, so when you say original, like when we first met Sandar, or like...
No, like here. I went, oh shoot, I should have picked up that he's a bad guy.
Gotcha.
Because of the whole thing where he's like, I'll treat them like they're Black Aja.
It's like, why do you know that?
And then he like, because he said it too casually for someone who lives in Tyr.
Yeah.
And then, but then later we find out he's actually not so much. So I give him some slack.
Fair.
But here I'm mad at him.
Absolutely.
So immediately she is furious and reaches out for Saidar, but is blocked from it, and then Liandrin and another woman named Rihanna come into the room, and Liandrin starts to say something and calls Nynaeve a wilder.
This is such a good scene.
Yeah, and then Nynaeve just punches her in the face.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Well, it's like, because you have these two obviously horribly evil women, especially with what like Rihanna says immediately after about killing Mother Gwenna.
Yeah.
But it's like they don't even consider the fact that Nynaeve could be dangerous without the power.
Yeah.
And they're just like, shit talking her basically.
Yeah.
So Nynaeve just like punches her in the face.
Makes
hard
her
as she
bleed.
can.
Yeah.
And backhands the other one.
Backhands Rihanna so hard that she like falls over a chair.
Like it's a solid plan. Like I totally
like just like
yeah
beat them up. Like maybe they're not strong. Like.
But it kind of leads to the whole, like, you should carry a dagger on you because you should knife one of them.
Yeah.
And then, there you go. So, thinking.
Yeah. Except for then right away.
Yeah, it doesn't go well.
Because she tries to run away, but then blows hit her from, like, every side. Invisible, like, punches, basically. Yeah. Invisible hits. And she is getting just, like, beat the fuck up.
Yes, it's like, really bad. She
is getting super beat up. And when the beating stops, she's curled up on the floor, bruised from head to toe, and Leandrin says that she's a stupid wilder and fought almost as wildly as the other one, Egwene.
Yes. This is really bad for her. Because at this point,
I don't know where the other ones are,
yeah.
And I'm thinking maybe they haven't been caught yet.
But no.
No, and then I just start feeling for Egwene because of the whole, like... Of course she fought like crazy.
Well,
she is not getting captured again.
Well, the way she describes it too, she's like, she almost went mad. Like, you can imagine how horribly Egwene flipped out on this.
Yeah.
So, and then they beat her to near death, probably.
Yeah.
Like, unrecognizably so.
Yeah.
It's just not good for her in the future too, because now it's like a reoccurrence of the original trauma.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she's also been captured again.
Yeah.
She was captured by those bandits.
Well, yeah, I mean, she was captured by the White Cloaks, then the Shanchens, then the Bandits, and now the Black Aja. Yeah. It's, like, not going well for her.
But I don't know why they're surprised that they're being captured by the Black Aja. Like, they literally came here.
To walk into the trap. Yeah, the planning wasn't the best.
And for, like, Egwene to be like, I won't be captured! And it's like...
You got captured pretty fast.
Do you know why you're here?
Yeah.
Isn't it too...
Well, not get captured. It's to capture... the Black Aja in their own trap.
They didn't have a plan at all.
No.
It was
okay, strategy's not the best.
Not great. I'm a little disappointed in all of this, I have to say.
Okay.
So, Leandrin tells Nynaeve that she needs to submit. And that eventually she'll submit no matter what.
Yeah.
So, that's bad.
Typical. It's kind of like the Shan-Chan, too. It's like the whole, do what I say.
Yeah. So, Rihanna goes over to Mother Gwenna and says, oh, I'll just stop her heart.
Yeah.
There's no use for her anymore.
Cold-hearted.
Yeah, and at least Leandrin, like, I don't like her, but she was like, no, you don't have to kill everyone. You know? You kill too fast. You kill too easily.
It's an interesting take, because we look at Leandrin as this, like, terrible, terrible person, but it's like Rihanna's...
Turns out Rihanna's worse.
Worse, but it's also, like... Leandrin's really schemy because she's like, well, we can't use her if she's dead. Yeah. She likes to collect her pawns, basically,
she does do that.
Which in turn, long term, is going to be worse.
I guess so.
Than if she was just dead.
Yeah, so she just tells Mother Gwenna, like, not to speak of this to anyone, or they'll have the High Lord come down on her, and Mother Gwenna...
We'll just straight up kill you.
Agrees.
Yeah.
And so Nynaeve is taken to the front room of the house, where she sees... Joya and Amiko.
Yeah.
The other Black Ajas.
Amiko.
And then there's also like 2 soldier men.
Who don't look like they're in good shape or condition.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Well, it's like they're as afraid as she is and sweats on their face. And it's like a weird situation with the 2 guards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but Elaine and Egwene are also there.
Yeah.
Elaine has a bruised eye, a swollen cheek, and a split lip, and she tells Nynaeve that she is sorry it was too late by the time she saw them, and Egwene is just a crumpled heap on the floor, unconscious. She clearly put up a fight.
But the worst part about this description is she looks unrecognizable.
Yeah.
So she was beat so severely. It's kind of like the whole Elaine with her, brain injury or head cracking when they were captured by the bandits. It's like, how bad is Egwene actually?
Yeah.
Like, we find out that she's probably not dead.
Yeah, but she is out.
Yes.
She is down.
Yeah, definitely.
So the girls get pushed, and Egwene is carried out to a shiny black lacquered coach outside.
Mm-hmm.
And it's painted with the sigil of a silver gauntleted fist holding lightning bolts, obviously for High Lord Salmon?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not a subtle sigil at all.
It is not subtle.
It's like holding a bunch of lightning bolts.
Yeah.
Like, what could be better for, like, a channeler?
Yeah.
You know?
I guess so, yeah.
It's like, I throw lightning bolts. I don't know.
guess so.
It's like a very, you know, I mean, you could interpret it other ways, but it, like, we're pretty sure we know that this is, like, Balal's symbol.
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah, it's bad.
Especially in tier, because it's like channelers are bad altogether.
But maybe it's like so on the nose that nobody picks it up.
Yeah.
It's like one of those. So we find out that Sandar has been persuaded into serving, which, you know, at least he gained some points back with me, but it's still not great. And he says, I had to do it, I had to. So he's originally like not a dark friend. He just sort of like got caught and was forced into serving.
Yeah, so I want to bring a couple comparisons here just on this like description.
Yeah.
Because with the description it says Leandrin tangles her hand in his hair, wrenches his head back, and then he stares up at her with eyes of a faithful hound. And is very similar in description to how Morgaze
is looking
at Gabriel. Yeah, so it's like the whole dog comparison of like looking at your master. So that's like the number one weird thing. So it might not be too far off about the whole like Gabriel is a Forsaken, but we don't know if he is for sure.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. You were like back and forth
I know,
before,
but
so...
that's only because I need something else to say other than Forsaken,
for sure.
He's Forsaken.
Everybody's
Forsaken.
Lanfear.
No.
But then this is another... but also, Sandar still seems confused. He looks at Nynaeve and he's confused about it. He's like, I had to.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know what's going on either. And that's like kind of the similar where Morgaze was nodding along with Gabriel's plans, but still like sort of frowning and still not like sure confused. What's going on. Yeah, but we also do know just on that note about the whole like what Sandar's doing. We know that Leandrin is the one who did that whole thing to Lady Amalisa.
I was gonna say that's my comparison here.
Yes,
is that Lady Amalisa is clearly not a dark friend, but was like
Leandrin like did something. Yeah, she did her little trick that she has to like make her
basically just hurt her with the power.
Yeah, basically, and then make you do what you want. So
and that was when I was like, dark friend.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, so comparisons. Good to note.
Yeah. So in the coach, the girls are bound with air, and Egwene is still knocked out.
Yeah.
So she's out cold, unconscious. And Nynaeve says that if you have killed her, I won't rest until you are hunted like dogs.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're kind of in a position right now not to be making threats like that, but...
She's trying. She's
trying. And Leandrin says, don't be stupid, you're wanted alive. What good is dead bait?
Yeah, so I mean, that's hopeful that Egwene's not immediately dead.
No, but it's also, like, they... thought they were going as bait, but then now Leandrin is calling them bait.
Yeah.
So, like, for what? For what trap?
Yeah.
For what? Like, what's the plan?
Well, it seems like the girls were sent by Lanfear in a way to get them there. Because it seems like she's the one who...
for sure was, like, there, who sort of set that up.
Yeah, with the whole, like, you know, here's all the garbage with all the, you know, signs that point to Tyr. But here, it's clear that the Black Aja are working with Balal.
Yeah.
But we also don't know if, like, Lanfear and Balal are working together with or without, like, Baalzamon.
It's all very
we don't know the allegiances. It's tough.
No, I need my murder board.
Murder board flowchart, yeah.
No, I'm not quite sure. So, Nynaeve says, you are the fool. You think we're here alone. The three of us are not even full Aes Sedai. We are the bait, and you have walked into the trap.
Ha!
And then Elaine picks up on what Nynaeve is trying to do.
Yeah.
And says, shh, don't tell them. They must take us inside the stone. Don't tell them what they shouldn't hear.
Yeah.
And then they have this, like, I don't know, this little improv acting class.
Okay, scale of 1 to 10, how much did Leandrin buy at that? Like, not at all?
7.
Or, like... So you think she bought it a little bit?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Because I kind of thought you might be on the flip side. Or like, no way Leandrin's buying this.
No, I think she might.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Because, I mean, they are here just, like, by themselves, not full Aes Sedai.
It would be incredibly stupid to be here with no backup, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be, wouldn't it?
It would be horribly
Wouldn't
stupid.
That be so stupid?
Yeah. Well,
but
good thing.
Yeah, so then, but Nynaeve tries to, she argues back, keeping like this rouse up, and she says, no, you be quiet, you're giving up too much. But Leandra doesn't seem too concerned.
No, they're just like riffing off each other.
I think she'll think about it. Maybe she'll, like, but...
Like seed planted, but not...
I don't know.
Okay.
But she says that the great master Bilal is sending for 13 Murdral right now, and that's bad.
Yeah, so that's probably a better threat than the ones the girls came up with.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, you fell into our trap as they're bound and like one of them's almost dead.
And she's like, well, it doesn't really matter because we're about to change you.
Yeah, so that's
Black
also bad.
Aja, right?
Like, do you think there's like some credibility? Like, do you think they're actually sending for 13 fates, or is this just like a, you know?
I do. I believe it. No, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just seems like a crazy thing to like.
It doesn't seem that crazy because that's the reason they have 13 Black Aja, and then we learn there's 13 Murdral coming, and we know that 13 and Black Aja... 13.
Boom. Turned
26.
To the dark side. Yeah, there you go.
Boom. Turned.
Magic number, 26.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know.
27, because the one who's getting turned. You know?
Sure.
So they always say 27. Bad number.
It's a bad number. Okay. So that's the end of this chapter. But...
it's almost the end of the chapter.
Oh, what did I miss?
They're all screaming.
Oh, yeah.
Still, like... Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't be laughing while I say that because that's terrible. But it's like,
they're screaming, Leandra's
she's screaming,
laughing.
they're screaming, he's laughing. It's like a terrible mess. So,
bad.
yeah.
Okay, so I had a prediction.
Yeah, okay.
When the girls were being sold to the Murdral.
Okay, what was your prediction?
My prediction was that Lord Salmon of Tyr was buying these Aes Sedai.
Oh, okay.
I said that because I just edited that episode, and so I heard it again and went, ooh.
Yeah.
Because I said, because you were like, who's buying
Aes Sedai?
Aes
Who would do
Sedai?
that? Yeah.
Who's using Murdral to buy these 3 Aes Sedai? These are the women they're looking for. And I said Lord Salmon of Tyr because he hates Aes Sedai.
You said that?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I said that.
Okay, I don't remember that.
I know.
You say so many things that it's really hard to...
I know, but then if I wasn't just editing that episode...
You would have forgot too.
Probably.
Well, hey.
Because I say so many things all the time.
That's a happy little accident, so... Okay.
So I did say that, so good for me.
Good for you.
That's a win. But I'm wondering about, like, Murdral working for him, because, like, the Murdral clearly was there to buy them.
Yeah, what do you mean?
So, I don't know if that Murdral to buy these women was actually Bilal or not. You know what I mean?
No. Are the fades that they were there to buy from the bandits?
Yeah.
If those 3 specifically were working for Bilal?
Yeah.
Okay.
If they were actually buying these girls for Bilal, or if they were working for, like...
Coincident.
Lanfear or Baalzamon.
Okay. Also, yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So...
Yeah, we don't know.
No.
Yeah.
We don't. So, also, the Dark Friend bandits were, like, also working for, I guess they're just Dark Friends, and it's, like, specifically Bilal.
So this is the weird thing too. Like... So when we met Lanfear that one time a little ways back, I can't remember which chapter or whatever, she said that those fool Dark Friends work for Baalzamon, implying, but not really, but kind of sort of implying that, like, Dark Friends are Baalzamon's thing.
Yeah.
She doesn't use them or doesn't, like...
Yeah.
She doesn't need the, you know, people in the world to, like, act for her. She does her own stuff. So we don't know if Dark Friends are specifically, like, employed by Baalzamon. Maybe they get, like, a healthcare package. I don't know. Dental, whatever.
But we do for sure know that the ones who were after Matt were Baalzamon. Because Baalzamon killed one of the guy in the dreams.
Because he's like, you let him get away. Yeah, so
like, that is Baal. That's the only thing we know, like, for sure.
Yeah, so maybe, like, the Dark Friends are, like, a subcontracted business to Bilal through Baalzamon. You know, they split the profits. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say.
I don't know.
That's the good part, is that the lines are fuzzy and we don't always know.
Right. So then I have another point about Liandrin and how I thought she was working for Baalzamon.
Yes.
And maybe I was wrong about that.
Okay.
Because now, like, has she been working for Bilal this whole time? Has she switched
sides?
Forsaken teams? Are Bilal and Baalzamon working together?
I'm going to throw this against the wall for you. If you were a Dark Friend, Liandrin, you know, bandit, whoever, and you were initially, let's lack of a better term, employed originally by Baalzamon.
I was going to
because
say
you
recruited.
Recruited by Baalzamon. If later on down the road, like Lanfear or Bilal came to you and was like, "You're working for me now," are you going to be like, "No, I'm actually employed by Baalzamon, not you"?
I'm
like
not
that
really
doesn't seem
sure.
like a thing that you could say no to.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. I guess we'll see.
Like maybe, but like I feel like if Lanfear was like, "Hey, do this," and you said no, she's just gonna like zap you out of existence or something.
I guess. Yeah.
So it's like a weird thing. So
it is a weird thing.
Yeah. So like
because maybe they're not all working against each other. Maybe Baalzamon and Bilal are actually working together.
We have had a dream sequence where there was a meeting of. It
right.
looked like
there was a lot of them yelling at each
so
other, but maybe some were.
They're not good at
teammates.
communicating.
I don't know. I do have one other point to make before we move on from this chapter.
Yeah.
Because Liandrin was working with the Shanchen.
Yes.
Original plan, the OG plan to get the girls was to get them to Shanchen.
Yes, and she referred to them as our master.
Our master. So it was either Baalzamon or Bilal here.
Yeah, now, that was Suroth?
Lady Suroth.
Lady Suroth.
Yeah, something like that. So now I'm thinking, like, does this have anything to do with the Shanchen?
You did have that crazy speculation about Shan last episode.
Yeah, because now, like, are they part of this plan still? Or now that they sort of failed, they're not part of the plan anymore?
Okay.
But the Shanchen, like the Forsaken, some Forsaken is clearly aware of the Shanchen.
Yes, they're not like, they don't know about them at all. So.
They were part of the original plan.
Yes.
So where they are now and what's going on, I think is important.
We need a murder board.
I just don't know what the heck's happening.
We need to like line up some theories here.
Okay, but I want to get into the next chapter.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we really can't answer any further.
Literally nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just there's just so many questions I have. Like the more I read, the more questions I have. Like my questions aren't getting answered.
No.
It's just getting more confusing.
Quite possible they never will, because the whole funny thing about RJ is he doesn't like to give solid answers to anything ever. So, like, sometimes, but also he just likes to let you, think about things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
let's do this. Chapter 52.
In search of a remedy, yeah. And as soon as I read that, I was like, oh, I know where they're going to go search for a remedy.
Yeah, this was really funny. Yeah. Because originally last chat you were like, oh.
You did a good job.
Of what?
Of pretending like you didn't know what I was talking about.
I have to do that all the time.
I know, but
you just don't know for so long that it doesn't matter.
I was actually, sometimes I'm not so impressed with your acting.
Sure.
And sometimes I can tell there's something.
I know you think you can, but usually you can't.
No, I tell you.
Okay.
But I was impressed with you. You're funny.
All right.
So,
you got it 100% right.
Yeah. So we have a heart picture.
Yes, for Tom.
And we are in Matt's point of view. And he is in Tom's room, who is super sick. Like, he can't even walk on his own. And Matt says, come on, Tom. The innkeeper says there's a wise woman not too far from here. And I freaking love being right.
Oh, yeah.
Except bad timing.
Well, actually, okay. So
when I read this, I was like, oh, I wonder actually how long ago that was and what the timing is like.
Let's talk about that a little bit later. Okay. About is it bad timing?
Okay. So Tom tries to protest.
He does.
A little bit.
Yeah.
He doesn't want any terrible tasting concoctions.
This is a thing that happens the entire chapter is Tom keeps whining.
Yeah.
And
he's
don't...
sick.
I get that he's sick, but he also, like, refuses... He doesn't want to be cured. Like, he doesn't want to drink the medicine.
Well, no.
He's acting like a giant baby.
Well, he's sick.
Giant baby.
He's sick.
I don't understand it.
Well...
It's like he's on the verge of literally dying.
Yeah.
Like, he's a senior citizen, pretty much. Like, he's getting up there. Take care of yourself, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
I don't know.
It's such an aversion.
It is. But Matt insists they have to go, and so he drags Tom out of there.
Yeah.
So they have to go to the mall?
Yeah, that's the district by the docks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because he was like, originally when he first got told that's where the wise woman was, he was like, I'm going to find a different one. But then didn't.
Because he didn't want to walk in the mud again.
He doesn't want to walk in the mud, but he has to.
He has to.
He has to.
Okay. So he follows the directions that the innkeeper gave, and Matt sees the shop with herbs in the window, and he remembers it from the night they arrived.
Yeah.
And Matt has to knock like a bunch of times, and then finally the woman opens the door, like just a very small crack, obviously very wary.
Yeah, she's not doing good.
And the problem here is I didn't know how long it had been since the girls were taken.
Yeah, so we find out later this chapter that it was 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's been 3 hours since they were taken. So, like, Mother Gwenna's headspace is still really bad.
Well, she almost just died.
She almost died,
watched
and she, like,
these girls get, like...
kidnapped/taken.
And there's nothing she can do about it.
Yeah, so, like, I totally feel for her. And it's nice to know that last chapter, like, when Nynaeve was being taken, Mother Gwenna was like, what am I gonna do? And Nynaeve, like, even though Gwenna was feeling ashamed, like, Nynaeve isn't holding it against Mother Gwenna.
No.
Because, like, seriously, what could she do? Right?
Yeah. So Matt asks if she can do something for Tom's cough, and she says, well, at least I can still do that.
Which makes sense.
And Tom is still protesting, but he doesn't really do anything about it other than complain.
Yeah, he
like,
can't.
He's too weak. I don't know, he's just so sick. He's coughing so much he can barely talk, he can barely walk. And Matt looks out the window and notices that there are 3 good horses tied up out back.
He does.
And he thinks it's a little weird, but no time for that now.
Yeah.
So she forces Tom to drink something she's created for him and gives instructions about how often to drink it and gives like a salve to put on his chest.
Yeah.
And I just think of like Vicks Vapor Rub.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And Matt thinks that this woman sounds exactly like the Amerlin, and he doesn't really care for that.
Yeah, okay, so that's
the last
not the...
conversation he had with the Amerlin was, like, bad. So...
Okay, so do you want me to bring up the conspiracy theory right now?
Sure.
I don't know if you've connected any dots on this.
Okay.
This isn't the first time we've heard that Mother Gwenna sounds exactly like
the
Swan.
Amerlin, yeah.
That's what the girls thought, too. So, conspiracy theory time.
That this is Swan's mother?
I just want to line up some dots here. So, we know that Swan was born in Tyr.
Yeah.
To a fisherman.
Yeah.
We know that Mother Gwenna has 3 daughters. They're all now off and married.
Yeah.
Presumably. We know that Mother Gwenna's husband was a fisherman.
Yeah.
Who died, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
We know they sound pretty much exactly the same, except it's like just a Terran accent, maybe.
Uh-huh.
But then they also both use a lot of fish metaphors.
So does everybody in Tyr.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So there's some points that might line up. I just want to see what you thought, because it's one of those whole, like, when we get more than once that someone sounds exactly like somebody else.
I think it's the accent thing.
Okay. I just want to see what you thought. That's it. That's all I wanted.
I think it's the accent. It's just the Tyrian accent, because the innkeeper at the place where Komar was killed also spoke in fish metaphors. Like, it's literally just a thing that they do.
I'm just laying out some information here. That's all I'm doing.
I know. That's okay.
So that was a no-go? Not...
It's a little bit of a stretch for me.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a stretch for me.
Sure.
But, I mean, whatever. That's fun, I guess. Sure. She's Swan's mom. Why not? So...
You're either going to make a lot of people happy or very angry.
Whatever. That's why I didn't really take a side.
Okay.
You've already done your
that's fine.
part at making
we'll
people
talk about
angry
it when
this book.
We'll talk about that more when we get further in the book, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's what I'm here for, though. You got it.
Yeah, but Matt, just sort of like out of instinct, tells her that he knew a woman who spoke like her, and perhaps she is Tyrion.
Yes.
And...
Terran.
Whatever. And Gwenna says, yeah, maybe. I knew girls who sounded like you. 2 of them anyway.
Oh, shoot.
And Matt feels his scalp prickle and thinks his luck can't be this good.
Oh, no.
It's not, Matt.
It's not. Or is it?
No, it's not.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's not good that they've already been captured and beaten up. And
well, okay, but consider if Matt
Egwene's almost dead.
Just hear me out for just half a second. Matt's luck being this good, he had days and days to find them. He didn't, but he did kill the one guy who was going to kill them, probably immediately. Yeah. So Matt, if he had found them at the same time, like when Leandrin was there, he would have just been killed or kidnapped too or murdered. Like, he can't do anything.
But if he had found them the night that he arrived...
Yeah. Would they have left, or would they just all be together in a group and then still hired Julian and then still been all captured together? So it's like, how does this play out where Matt finding them before Leandrin does? How does it actually help? So how does it actually help, like, for Matt to find them earlier? Because, like, we don't know how the cards would,
I mean, it didn't, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, maybe it wasn't bad luck. Maybe it's good luck.
Maybe. So he comes right out with it and asks if Nynaeve, Egwene, and Elaine were the girls that she's talking about. And it's likely that they gave fake names anyway. It certainly fits Elaine's description, and she describes Nynaeve and Egwene as well. And Matt's like, yep, it's them. And she says, I'm sorry.
Too late.
And he goes, why are you sorry? I've been looking for them for days. Where are they? And then she doesn't say anything. And she like sort of stares warily at the stove. And is like,
I don't want to get murdered.
I definitely don't want that, but I also want to help these girls.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a big, like, a moral conundrum here with her.
Yeah, and so Matt senses that they're clearly in trouble, and he presses for more information, and she says she can't tell him because of the High Lords murdering her and stuff.
But, like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And so she says she can't speak of this, and she says she's been told not to say a word, she'll be killed if she does, and then, you know, if he speaks her name, it'll be trouble. And so he's like, well, I can just not say your name.
Yeah.
Can you just tell me the information then? I'll pay for it. I'll pay you for information. And she really does want to help these girls and doesn't want his money. She really does like them and feels like partially responsible.
I kind of feel like it must be one of those, you know, we know Mother Gwenna has 3 daughters from what she says, and it's like the 3 girls. So it's kind of like a comparison of, if this was my 3 girls, I would hope someone would help them situations.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Like, I kind of get that vibe,
Like, I like that she's just a genuinely good person, because I feel like those are hard to find in this book.
Yeah, and it definitely can be. It's like she wants to be a good person. I mean, and I'm on her side. Like, I also wouldn't want to get murdered for talking, but it's like you want to help.
Yeah. So Matt promises not to say her name, and she tells him they have been taken to the stone. The High Lord sent women who can channel, and she's a little confused by that.
She is. Well, she brings up a lot of good questions, because it's the High Lord's rules that you can't, like, use channeling, shouldn't be friends with Aes Sedai. And she's like, why would the High Lord Salmon break the rules that they themselves made? It's like, good question, Mother Gwenna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's question it a little more, maybe.
Yeah. Go a little bit further with that line of thought.
Right. And Matt's like, oh, don't worry about that. If they're women who can channel, that means they're in good hands. They're meant to be Aes Sedai themselves.
Yeah, he just doesn't understand it yet.
Yeah, if Aes Sedai took him, that's a good thing.
Yeah, like, I get his rationale.
Like,
yeah.
No.
Friends don't beat each other.
Oh, no, this wasn't good.
Yeah.
Those girls fought like lionfish in a net.
Fish metaphor.
And friends don't give bruises like that.
Yeah, so
Matt gets super pissed off.
He does.
And confused.
Yeah.
And
punches a wall.
Punches a wall, but is unaware of punching a wall.
Yeah.
So he's mostly pissed with himself for not coming to this place earlier, because it was the first building he saw here.
Like, literally, yeah.
But I like your points about then he would have just been caught up in it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
well, it's the whole, like,
he wouldn't have convinced them to leave, so...
No, and then he would be lumped in with them, and then, like, they'd all be betrayed. It's just a mess,
So she says that he's sorry, and it's clear he cares for them, or at least one of them.
Ah?
What does that mean?
Which one? Which one?
Probably the only one he described to her. The one with hair like the sun and blue eyes.
So this goes back a little ways.
I don't want Matt to have a crush on Elaine.
I'm just saying, this goes back a little ways, though.
I know it does. I don't like it.
Why?
I don't want him to have a crush on Elaine.
Why?
Because she likes Rand.
What's your point?
I don't love that for...
Why? You're not giving me reasons. You're just saying no.
Because it's like this love triangle thing.
What's wrong with a good love triangle?
Bad. It never ends well.
It doesn't end well for one of them, usually.
Yeah, and I'm just... Elaine, I think, is part of Min's vision for Rand.
Okay.
And I think that Matt won't be the successful suitor.
Well, that's... Okay. We also
just
don't know...
from facts I know, and I don't like him crushing on her because he's not gonna win.
Do you not want him to get hurt?
Yeah.
Well, couldn't it be like they date for a while?
No.
I don't know, like courting?
God.
Like a little, like, you
one
first,
of those friend groups who, like, they all date each other.
Oh, God, those are the worst. Okay. Yeah. Shoot. Oh, no. I have no first-hand experience with that.
Yeah, it's just...
This is completely new to me.
It's bad. It's terrible. So... No, I'm not for that for him. If it's clearly he has a crush on Elaine, like he cares for Elaine here.
Okay.
And I don't love that for him.
Okay. Let's continue.
I wish he wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wish he would stop that. So Matt says, well, don't be sorry. I know where they are, and now I have to go get them out.
Ah, there you go.
Yep, and then he gives her his last 2 gold coins.
That's it.
Man, he's been going through that gold fast.
Like, really fast. He was like a rich guy.
He's literally just, like, throwing his gold everywhere.
Well, if you're good with the dice, you can
go
win more money.
Yeah, but now he's got none, so...
Oh, how do you start from nothing?
Oh, well, he did. He only had coppers. And...
That's true.
But...
Okay. He's got silvers probably, or like something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, he goes, thanks for the info and for taking care of Tom. And she's like, man, you can't just walk into the stone just like that. And she says, you remind me of my husband.
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
All stubborn and stupid.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, that's the whole kiss on the cheek thing.
He also was a stubborn idiot.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny that, like, Matt leaves Tom here.
Yeah, Tom coughs again, and he's like, I can't bring him with me. And then asks if he can just leave Tom with her for now. Huh? He's too sick to get back to the inn.
But it's a good point, because Tom is really not doing well.
No.
Like, that should be noted, that he's clearly in a bad physical health
And I really
condition.
don't think if Tom is left on his own, he's actually drinking the medicine.
Oh, not a chance. He's not rubbing the Vicks on himself.
No way.
Not going to happen.
No.
And he also can't help sneak into the stone because he's going to be like hacking his lungs out.
Oh, gosh.
Terrible.
Yeah. And Tom's like, what? No. But he, like, can't stop coughing enough to, like, speak.
Yeah.
And then just, like, is too weak to even get up, so he just has to stay where he is.
Verge of death here for Tom.
Yeah. And so she's nice enough to be like, yeah, fine, I'll take care of him.
Yeah.
And Matt says that he has enjoyed knowing Tom.
Well, this is a weird line, though, because even Matt thinks to himself that's a weird thing to say.
Why did I say that? He's not dying.
So here's a question.
And then I think, is Tom dying?
Huh?
No,
okay, maybe not dying, but is this the last time Tom and Matt are going to see each other for a while?
For a little bit, probably.
Is this like a farewell for now situation where it's like, you know...
It might be.
They diverge paths again. Diverge?
Yeah, it totally depends on what ends up happening at the stone.
Yeah.
If Matt can actually get back to
Mother Gwenna's
to,
we have no idea.
Tom back up.
Like after the whatever event
I don't
happens.
This woman is definitely going to keep him alive.
Yeah.
And
she's a good person.
That's fine, but like, I don't know, maybe he just lives there now.
No, Mother Gwenna and Tom are going to shack up together.
No.
No? Okay. It didn't feel right coming out of my mouth either.
No.
Okay.
No. But Matt thinks, okay, she'll keep him alive, but who's going to keep me alive?
Good
and
question.
then he heads out with, like, a nothing plan of going to the stone.
It is a nothing plan.
And getting the girls. He's like, I'm just going to go get them.
He knows how his luck sort of works now, and it has to be random.
So he's like, I'm just going to go and see where my mood takes me.
Just close your eyes and start walking and see what happens, and then he'll be...
Close your eyes.
Yeah.
Point your finger. Spin in a circle.
Go that way.
Go that way.
Yeah. Would that actually work?
Might.
I mean, that's pretty random, right? So... Spinning in a circle and guessing. Okay, never know. Yeah. But, like, to what extent? Like, what's the plan? Go and sneak into the stone?
It's a nothing plan. There is no plan.
Okay.
He's got to do some scouting, maybe.
But we also know who else is trying to get into the stone.
Yeah, he's 100% going to run into Moraine and Lan.
That's
and they're going to be like, what the fuck are you doing here? You're ruining everything, farm boy.
Yeah.
It'll be because
it's like Lan and Moraine. So.
I cannot wait for that. I can't wait for Lan to be like, you moron, get the fuck out of here.
We know Perrin and Fael and Loyal are all
not allowed to go to the stone.
Not allowed to go. They're at the inn. So any chance that like Matt meets up with Perrin and Fael?
No, he's not going wandering back into the city. He's going to the stone.
He needs to find a way to break the girls out. Maybe his random luck will take him to something that can help him, which might be
Perrin. And Loyal.
Another Taviran.
Well, and especially because we did get that interesting tidbit about how Ogier stay in the stone.
That is true.
Right?
I mean, they're like...
Like, they haven't been there in a year, and we didn't talk about that. We glazed over it. But that's information we know.
So Loyal could, like, get an invite
Loyal could get into the stone.
It reminds me of, like, when Rand was waiting for invitations to get into the Kyrian parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or no, he didn't want invitations to get into them.
He didn't want them, but he kept getting them.
They're like, how are we going to get into this guy's house? And he's like,
I already got an invitation.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yep. We got 4 chapters left.
Yeah, we do.
In the whole book.
Yeah. This is good.
Yeah.
And we have 1 week until this baby shows up.
So like we gotta go do some notes.
Yeah, no, I'm good with it. I think we're on track, and this is fun. This is fun for me, blazing through like this.
If only, I mean, this has been a heavy workload, definitely.
It has been a heavy workload, but I've been able to read so much.
So much, so fast. You're spoiled.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely spoiled, but...
Yeah, okay.
No,
so
it's good.
Let's end it there so you can go read 53, 54. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Badger says bye.
Badger says bye. And I can say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thank you for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, produced by Dani and Brett, with Vince Lewick, Derek Benton, Michelle O'Brien, Moltude, Benjamin, Passion Socks, and Mozyme, with music by Audionautics.com. If you'd like to support us making great content, and you're interested in extra bonus content like bonus episodes, Q&As, outtakes, early released episodes, unedited video released episodes, and exclusive merchandise, please visit patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. Don't forget to check us out on social media, on Instagram and Twitter. You can find us at The Wheel Weaves Podcast. We love interacting with our fans, and that's the best way to get a hold of us if you want to chat. Also, you can join the conversation with other Wheel of Time fans with Brett and myself over at our Discord channel for spoiler-free and spoiler-full content. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and feel free to tell a friend about us because referrals really are the very best compliment. Thanks again for listening, and this really is part of the pattern now.